All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're tackling a massive challenge that every growing business faces: how to find and build the right supply chain partnerships. It can feel like a maze, right? Well, we're going to break it all down into a clear, step-by-step plan.
So, let me ask you this, and it's a big one. Right now, are your partners an asset or a liability? The right ones can literally catapult your growth, but the wrong ones, they just create bottlenecks and hold you back. And that's exactly why having a smart, structured approach here is a total game changer.
So here's the roadmap for our journey today. We're going to walk through 5 key stages. First, setting your goals. Then, scouting for partners. After that, we'll get into the art of selection, how to structure the deal, and finally, how to measure what really matters. This is your playbook for building winning partnerships. Okay, first up, setting your goals. Before you even think about searching for a partner, you've got to have a crystal clear North Star guiding you. What exactly are you trying to accomplish here? Let's take a look at what those goals usually are. So this breaks down the big 4. You'll notice cost, efficiency, and scalability are usually top priorities. I mean, it makes sense, right? You need things cheaper, you need them faster, and you need a partner who can grow with you. But check out that last one, sustainability. It's no longer just a nice-to-have. It's becoming a core part of building a modern, resilient supply chain. These 4 pillars are really the foundation for your whole strategy.
So, you've got your goals locked in. Now what? It's time to start scouting. Think of it like building a sports team. You're creating your long list of potential candidates. So let's look at how you gather the right intel to make a really smart comparison down the line.
Now, when you're looking at suppliers, it is so important to collect the same data points for everyone. This table just gives you a snapshot of the essentials: what they make, where they are, what certifications they have, and a rough reliability score. The point here isn't to make a decision yet, not at all. It's about getting the data so you can do a real apples-to-apples comparison later.
And it's a really similar process for your logistics providers, but you're looking at different criteria. Here, you're focused on things like their services, where they operate, and this is a big one, the tech they use. Things like automated tracking or real-time GPS, those are absolutely critical for running an efficient, modern supply chain.
All right, you've done your homework. You've got your long list. Now comes the most critical step: actually selecting the right partner. This is where we go from a big list of possibilities to the one partner that truly lines up with the goals you already set.
And the key to making the right choice? It's all about going back to your goals. This evaluation table is how you do it. It helps you measure every candidate against your priorities. Things like cost, of course, reliability, quality, but also innovation and their commitment to ESG, or environmental, social, and governance standards.
Now this right here is the crucial point. You absolutely have to assign a weight to each of these criteria. Why? Because it forces you to be really honest about what matters most. Is a long-term cost advantage more important than cutting-edge tech right now? Is reliability the one thing you absolutely cannot compromise on? This little system helps you make a choice that is truly built for your business.
And this scorecard is how you put it all into practice. By scoring each partner against those criteria you weighted, you turn what could be a really messy, subjective decision into something much more objective. So for example, look at supplier A here. Their cost gets a 4. Good, but not the cheapest. But they get a perfect 5 on reliability and quality. Depending on your priorities, that could easily make them your #1 pick.
But wait, before you make that final call, you've also got to assess the risks. This table shows you how to think about common problems, like relying too much on one supplier or hitting delivery delays. You look at both the likelihood of it happening and what the impact would be if it did. And this is a huge mindset shift. The goal here isn't to find some mythical risk-free partner, because, let's be honest, they don't exist. The real goal is to spot potential risks early on and have a plan to manage them proactively. This approach will make you so much more prepared for whatever challenges pop up down the road. Okay, so you've picked your partner. Awesome. But the work's not done. The next step is to actually structure the relationship. This is where you formally define how you're going to work together. So let's check out a few of the common ways to do that. 2 of the most common models are the classic vendor partnership and the strategic alliance. A vendor partnership is pretty transactional, focused on buying and selling standard stuff. A strategic alliance, on the other hand, is much deeper. It's a long-term collaboration focused on shared goals and innovating together. Which one's right for you? Well, it totally depends on what you need.
You've also got other models like joint ventures and outsourcing agreements. A joint venture is where you share an investment in something new, which can be a great way to enter a new market or share a big financial risk. An outsourcing agreement is where you hire an expert to handle a whole function for you, like all your logistics, so you can just focus on what you do best.
And once you've picked a model, you can map it all out. This roadmap just lays out the key milestones, from evaluation and selection through the negotiation and contract signing, all the way to the official onboarding. It just keeps everyone on the same page and helps make sure the transition is smooth.
And that brings us to our final section, measuring what actually matters. Because signing that contract, that's not the finish line, that's the starting pistol. The real work is managing that partnership day in and day out to make sure it delivers real long-term value.
So how do you manage it? With data. You use what are called Key Performance Indicators, or KPIs. A super specific KPI, like a 98% target for on-time delivery, gives everyone a clear, measurable goal. There's no ambiguity, and it helps you track performance against the goals you set way back at the beginning.
Here's another great example, a quality rejection rate of less than 1%. This KPI connects directly to that high-level goal of improving your product quality and keeping customers happy. By tracking these specific numbers, you can see if the partnership is actually delivering what it promised.
You can manage all of this with a super simple governance cycle. Track, review, and act. First, you're constantly tracking the data. Then, you review that data together in regular meetings. And finally, if anything is off track, you act on it together with a corrective action plan. This creates a powerful cycle of continuous improvement. So, after all that work, what's the payoff? What are the results of this whole structured process? Well, you get improved efficiency, less risk, more innovation, and better ESG performance. You end up building a supply chain that isn't just a cost on a spreadsheet. It's a true strategic asset that's actively helping your business grow. And that really brings us to our final big idea. The right partnership is so much more than a simple transaction. It's a strategic asset that can become one of the most powerful engines for your company's long-term growth.
So we'll leave you with this one key question to think about for your own business. Who are the partners out there that can create the most value for you and help you achieve your biggest long-term goals for growth and sustainability? We hope this has given you a clear roadmap for building your own winning supply chain partnerships.